touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Well, good evening, race fans. Tonight we come at you live from Talladega for the Bridge to Cup Series racing action here in Sigma Offline Racing. And I imagine tonight's going to be a little bit of a wild card, which we haven't seen a very wild card style race yet in the last couple months. So get prepared to see maybe another new winner in the series. It's been a hot streak for Dave Steele Jr. and a couple other drivers involved. Excuse me. And based on the front starting row here, you got Ryan Little and Andrew Moger, two relatively unusual suspects at the front of the field here. Behind that, you've got Jack Davis and Adam Starr. Bradley Ream has been on one hell of a hot streak. He's won the last 2 races contested. He's looking to make it 3 with Anheuser Walkner alongside of him. Kevin Xavier and Krista Cower. Spinham Walker and Luis Rodriguez. The Cadillac duo of Gannon Bird and Cannon Gage. Kyle Ottawa and Lucas Holmes. One of the highlights here is that Lucas Holmes is actually going to be running Cup Series starting tomorrow. So getting the call up in a topsy-turvy universe with the Sigma Cup Audi team, he's going to get a start and run as many races as he so desires. Then you've got Kat Durham, Chasey Plays, Scott Speed, and GP Luxembourg is not in the series. We have to do a quick edit here because that's supposed to be at Lewis. So just hold tight. I hopped back to the original roster, which included the likes of GP Luxembourg, since the month of May is over. And I forgot to amend that change for Luxembourg being absent from the server and Atlee Weiss taking over racing duties here in Bridge to Cup. There we go. There, we should have it fixed now. Sorry about that, folks. Just a minor hiccup. And so now we'll have a different starting lineup than that one.
Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, all your connections.
Gives everyone a little bit of a chance to file in here as we get sorted for the night.
Touch all your connections, touch your Hans, and make sure you get everything like you want it.
And so the new front row is that of Adam Starr and Scott Speed. Moger doesn't fall too far off the front row as he sits in third there. Paul Ladino, Bradley Ream still up towards the front, Anheuser Walkner, Atlee Weiss in the top 10 with Jack Davis alongside of him. There's Dave Steele Jr. sitting about midfield. John Hagan sitting pretty deep in the field here. The LFG Motorsports teammates roughly in about 25th and 26th place. Asiel Escobar with Nadakagum and Jamie Horseman rounding out the rear of the field here.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
So tonight's race is a celebration of my grandpa. That's why it's called the Milton Shangle 266. It was otherwise known as Grandpa Dusty. There's really no correlation with Talladega and my grandpa, but I still do it as a tribute race each time we come to Talladega for Grandpa Dusty. So whether it's now Bridge to Cup holding a Dusty Memorial, the Cup Series each year is the Dusty Memorial as well. Maybe the Dusty Memorial would make a catchier name. But for the Bridge to Cup race, it'll be known as the Milton Shangle 266. Since the track is 2.66 miles, that means we'll be going 100 laps here tonight at Talladega. And hopefully we have an exciting finish. I don't want to see a big crash fest here tonight. But we all know these restrictor plate races kind of turn into a revolving door of who's who leading the race. Off to the early lead, of course, it's Adam Starr here in the 27, which we haven't seen a lot out of him this year. It's been a bit of a struggle from that 27 camp. It's pretty well chronicled the fact that Atlee Weiss needs to get a win to lock himself into the championship bracket at the end of the year. With our Bridge to Cup series, it's going to be a bracket-style championship battle. And just like that, Paul Ladino gets credited with leading the first lap here today at Talladega. Adam Starr getting shuffled way out of the racing line here. It looks like he's going to lose some spots. Well, the chaos is already starting to cycle here. As you see, many of the drivers that were up front starting to cycle all the way back here. Asiel Escobar on the move. He's been able to stay down low here and make up a lot of spots. Oh, and we've got a wreck early on here today at Talladega. Already caution still. We'll throw the caution manually since I forgot to enable. Let's see. We can still do this by hand. Fortunately, looks like Roach was involved. Oh, it's mid sneeze, and I unmuted it. Oh boy. Yeah, that's what happens when you do a stream live, I guess. I was okay. I was mid sneeze when I was starting to follow along with what happened here. Looks like the 21 clips the 66, collecting the 50. I saw something too there about the 50 sustaining a blown engine, it looks like. Yeah, engine damage before that even transpired. So I wonder if the slow up from the 50, let's see if we can watch a chase cam here on the 50. If he blows up, well, that was not related. Looks like Atlee was able to make it through cleanly. Fortunately for Palladino, not as lucky here. That 94 had been up front and led at the first start of the race here. Moger gets collected. And then all you can see at that point is a whole bunch of smoke. We're going to have to be very diligent on watching which cars can maintain a race pace here today, as not everyone is going to retire due to the damage from that wreck, but there sure is going to be a lot of damaged cars upon the restart here today. Out of the race here by lap 8 includes the 49 of Chasey Plays, the 78 of Andrew Moger, the 94 of Palladino. Then you've got the 21. It's been a while. I can't quite remember who's in. Oh, Ryan Little, who was up towards the front at one point. Roach is out. That looks to be all your retirements from the early caution here tonight. Still a lot of cars out there that did get some damage. Atlee was able to squeak through and continues to sit solidly in the top 15 here. Bradley Ream still alive. He's on the drive to get 3 in a row here tonight. Alrighty, so the lights are off on the pace car and we should get back going. Doubled up for the restart here. First restart of the night. It's going to be Rich Roy and Osiel Escobar leading them to the restart here. And then you've got a pair of Cadillacs just there waiting in the quarter. Gannonbird, Cannon Cage, and the 98 of Krista Cower. We still have a grand total of 27 cars out there contesting for the win here today. But we'll see very shortly here as to if there's going to be some drivers that can't keep pace with the lead pack. Green flag waving, they're off and rolling for the restart here tonight. Osiel with a good jump gets the early edge here on the restart. And you got to imagine there's a lot of these drivers that are raring and ready to get a win. This new playoff system is very intriguing, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens when we get some kind of surprise factors mixed in there. Someone like Osiel Escobar, who has had a bit of a struggle, but continues to show promising runs here and there. If he were to get a win and work his way into that bracket, things could get interesting. He could be one of those Cinderella stories that totally spoil the whole party. A bracket buster, in other words. Then we've got the Atlee Weiss saga as he rejoins the Bridge to Cup Series, which he had left to pursue the Cup Series and has since not been able to close out a championship in this rung of the ladder, but he would love to figure out a way where he could actually have a championship in both, since he is your defending Cup champion. Bradley Ream out the front of the field, the only driver here tonight that could get 3 in a row with a win this evening. We're going to give a DQ to the 11 of Spin'em Walker. The damage he sustained. He is too slow and does not meet adequate race pace here. These two are only 3 seconds off the pace, so we'll give them another shot. Atlee must have got some sustainable damage there during the caution, so he's going to have a long haul here tonight. But we still have 22 cars in the lead draft. And as long as they can stay above 3 seconds of their fastest lap, they won't get the DQ flag. And we'll keep racing with them holding up the back of the field. Man, Bradley Ream holding that lead. He's going to lead a couple laps here. 3 wide for second place as you've got Luis Rodriguez on the inside. Dave Steele Jr. on the inside, middle, and John Hagan way up on the outside. Gannonbird definitely feels like he was robbed of a win a couple weeks ago at the Coke 300, where we raced at Charlotte with these cars. He had led so many laps, but a late race caution took it away from him. So you got to imagine that 46 a little bit more hungry to get a win than some of the other drivers might be. Don't want to push the envelope too much and cause a big wreck, so might just err more on the side of caution here and hold your line. Even though he's holding his line, he's getting attacked by the 09 of Jack Davis, who wants to take that spot. Jack Davis falls back in line behind the 46, and we've got our 3-car freight train at the front of the field here. Gannon Bird making a move. He's going to push Luis Rodriguez high. He's going to have his sights set on Bradley Ream here. Also making a move, Kevin Xavier now up to 3rd. Krista Cower right there in about 4th. Cat Durham working his way up to 5th. Cat Durham has gotten a win in this Bridge to Cup series. If I remember correctly, I think it was also at a super speedway. Or, well, Cat Durham's not in the 22. The 22 is Noah Hobson, my bad. And Noah Hobson did win earlier this year at Daytona, so he's got a knack for these super speedway races. Believe it or not, he just won the Truck Series race at Portland a couple nights ago. So, given that 22, the sad part is that one win has been his lone glimmer in this 2024 campaign, as he sits deep in the points in 27th. But per the rules, as long as he can make it up to 25th with that one win, he would be eligible for the championship bracket at the end of the year. But if he's outside that top 25, then it's a foregone. The rule will keep him locked out of the playoffs here in the Bridge to Cup series. Krista Cower and Adam Starr, the two teammates, duking it out for the lead right now. And here we've got the 2024 season opening winner, John Hagan, to the front of the field. We haven't seen him in victory lane since race number 1. Dave Steele Jr. right there behind him has 5 wins to his name this season. So what's another win for the 35 team? Wow, Atlee is about to go a lap down here, as he's joined in with this group to try and get some drafting help, but it's not looking very promising. We'll let them race it out. There's a lot more on the line for these three than there was for the other one that we had to DQ. I'm just hoping that it does not result in a huge pileup at the front of the field here. I want to see us race with a big pack all the way to the finish, all of which have a shot at winning it. Luis Rodriguez doing a good job at holding the lead right here in that number 48 Dodge Challenger. Lucas Holmes also in a Challenger right there behind him. Holmes, not a stranger to the front of the field this year. He has been surprisingly on top of it here in 2024. Noah Hobson making a move. Sustre making a move. And here is the lap traffic. So we're going to have to see how well these guys navigate through the lap traffic here. It's looking like they might have to work their way around the high side here to get around them. Yep, Atlee under attack. They're going to go 3 wide with Atlee in the middle. Now that inside line is going to be the sucker hole, as those guys are going to get shuffled out of the running with the slower traffic in front of them. Atlee goes high. Even worse for the guys on the high side. This is going to kind of stretch things out a little bit, spread things up. Inside line prevailing so far. Everyone else trying to go low. Ooh, 65. Wasn't much of an opening there as he tried to cut low. It'll just take a couple laps for everyone to get caught back up to this lead group. Bradley Ream trying to take the lead back here. Well, looks like David Bird might have been the big loser in the lap traffic debacle there. The rest of these drivers starting to work their way back up to the front. What's impressive here is we don't force these drivers to have a restrictor plate like the real life drivers do. Everyone out here with unrestricted raw horsepower, they're getting up to 200 miles an hour, even peaking at nearly 201 miles an hour on some of the longer straights. Truly flying around Talladega here. These cars are unleashed. Now, the only problem with that is like we saw, even minor damage can set you back huge here with the unrestricted power. Atlee, we saw Atlee didn't get all that much damage in the wreck, the first wreck of the race, but it was enough aerodynamics damage to that car that it's caused him to fall lap down and out of contention for the win here today. there's not a whole lot to talk about points battle wise right now, as Dave Steele Jr. has close to a 2-race lead at the front of the field. He's got 98-point lead over Bradley Ream. But if Bradley Ream can continue to put together the string of dominance like he has, maybe he can start cracking into that points lead of Dave Steele Jr., and we could be looking at someone else winning the regular season, not named Dave Steele Jr. Gannon Bird sits third in the points, 134 points back. Cannon Gage, 137, and Jack Davis, 153. So this Bridge to Cup championship, it's pretty much a runaway at the moment, with Dave Steele leading the way, but still a lot of racing. A lot can change. We just barely got over the halfway mark of this season, and what has been proven so far is that Dave Steele Jr. is going to be a threat throughout the entire universe of racing here. You got the Adam Krista duo back at the front again here. Krista going low. She wants to take the lead away from Adam Starr here. Side by side, man, if that was a photo finish, that could have been a photo finish. That's what we're hoping for. We want to see a crazy, intense final photo finish that we don't often see. Seems that Kyle Ottawa running just barely off the draft pace. I'm thinking he must have made a pit stop. No, he's been just running off the pace the whole time since the restart. We'll see maybe if he gets with the draft, if he can actually run better. Well, here we go again with Dave Steele Jr. back to the lead. Things are getting a little bit chaotic here at the front, as you saw Dave Steele almost get slammed into the wall there. He's got to drop back now and try to recuperate. They still haven't caught up to the slower traffic of Kyle Ottawa. 4 wide nearly in the mid-pack there. This could be chaotic. They continue to head straight, but still a little bit out of sorts in the mid-pack here. I think some drivers are trying to pit. There we go. Pit stops happening here on lap 35. We'll have to see what pit strategies start to unfold here. Well, you got the two Cadillac teammates that finally pit, leaving Dave Steele Jr. and Luis Rodriguez still out there. These guys taking a very long time to make their pit stops. Not sure this will be the winning strategy. Staying out as late as they have, it's going to force them to lose a lot of time to the top runners, especially since they've fallen off the initial draft there. They're going to have to get a little bit of luck, I think, to get back into this one. It's likely going to be just a matter of time before most of the lead group gets all caught back up together here, especially with the lap traffic here going to hold up these leaders. This will allow everyone to snag right back up to the back bumpers of these leaders. 3 wide. Kevin Xavier goes high here, as he is currently your leader. Bradley Ream's going to split the gap here, and he's going to go low and take full possession of second place. 81 car currently laps down, but still holding his own. Seems that if he wouldn't have lost the draft from the initial start of the restart, he could be in the mix, but alas, he is not. Lucas Holmes and Noah Hobson going around the high side here. There we go, Bradley Ream dropping low here. Getting a little bit of drafting help from Jack Davis. Cannon Gage in the 51 is also giving him a good push here. It's crazy how much changes in just a couple laps. It was 2 laps ago, Osiel Escobar was leading, and now Osiel sitting outside the top 10 there. You can see the blue and yellow Food Lion entry. He dropped way back. Three wide for the lead as Luis Rodriguez takes the position. Cannon Gage in the middle, Bradley Ream right behind him. That inside line is going to be the big spot to be in here tonight. The nice part is tonight has not been a huge wreck fest. We've actually seen these guys get to go out there and race for it. Guys and gals both. And putting on quite the show here tonight at Talladega. Seen the lead swap hands numerous times throughout the first 45 laps here tonight. If I had to wager, I think Bradley Ream has just a slight upper hand here tonight. Seems like he's playing on house money and wants to rack up yet another win. Other than that, though, Bradley Ream doing good, but there's a lot of new blood at the front of the field here who could potentially get one of their first wins and lock their way into the bracket for the championship. This got to be one of the better runs that we've seen from Osiel Escobar in that number 8 Food Lion entry. Even the 12 of AJ Kosnoff looking solid here tonight. You can't forget about the likes of Cannon Gage or even Krista Cower. How about Kevin Xavier, though, leading the way right now? He's been there a couple times tonight and seems to know all the tricks of the trade here, leading the way. but he's got Bradley Ream making a bold move on the inside here. Bradley Ream's going to get the lead that time. And lap traffic fixing to be a problem yet again here. Somewhat faster of the lap traffic, as we know David Bird had been up with the lead draft, and I'm willing to wager that he's probably going to fall in line kind of like the 81 there of Kyle Ottawa and still hold his own. Ooh, wow. Bradley Ream must have cut off the inside line there. Something weird going on. I don't know how much lower that 22 is going to go. Holy cow, I hadn't seen something that bold in a while. Bradley cuts off the 22, forcing him down below the yellow line. And in NASCAR's rulebook, that is an illegal move. He's going to have to give up the charge here or else receive a potential black flag pass-through penalty. He doesn't give up the line. It looks like he's going to make the pass on Bradley Ream. Wow, that's a tough one. Got forced down there, but he could have laid up and not made that kind of move. The penalty wouldn't meet the punishment. Oh wow, and then we're wrecking here on lap 51. And it's the 51 of Cannon Gage. Bradley Ream's in it. That's a bummer. Bradley Ream had nothing to do with that. The 51 just gets 4 wide with the 09. Just like Atlee, that 19 car is probably going to be a little bit too beat up to hold the pace after that. Not going to throw any cautions, but yeah, they're going to have to pit for some repairs on the 19. Man, it's a bummer deal for Bradley Ream, who looked like he could have taken his 3rd consecutive win here tonight. But instead, not likely going to be the case, as he's got to go down pit road and get some repairs done on that 19. Now, he could get off strategy here, but he's going to be a lap down, and he's going to need a wave around once the next caution, if the next caution were to fall. Right now, rejoining the track, he's going to be right on the cusp of 2 laps down. Well, maybe just 1 lap down. He might have got lucky there. No, the 09 collects the leader. The 09 of Jack Davis was going a lap down after having made a pit stop there. Which Jack Davis had to make the pit stop because of the damage that he got from Cannon Gage there. Just a lap later, after that, collects, oh, and Osiel Escobar, unfortunate bystander in all of this. 95 of Scott Speed gets pushed through the grass. Lucas Holmes collected. And the big one takes its toll now here tonight as Osiel Escobar had nowhere to go. It was kind of funny watching the flag man wave that yellow just a little bit late. Man, that's a hard hit for Osiel Escobar. So things kind of get turned upside down here now as a couple cautions really upset the apple cart. 22 of Hobson now out of the race. We'll go ahead and wave around some drivers. Wow, rough day to end for some of these drivers. Looks like Lucas Holmes out of it. This had to have been extracurricular. I don't know if... Did he not make to the start-finish line? No, this was the one. This was one. He didn't make to the start-finish line even. Barely made it to the start-finish line. Did not. Bam. And then here comes the 8 of Escobar with nowhere to go. Escobar is able to slide by to get on the next lap there, but yeah, it's game over at that point. So things have definitely taken a turn here after halfway. Rich Roy and Cannon Gage will reset the field here tonight, and since have lost a couple more drivers in the chaos here at Talladega. That one I think we can credit is the miniature big one, as you see the 26, the 81, So the 27 had a header failure somewhere, not part of that wreck. They included the 81 of Kyle Ottawa, the 26 of Lucas Holmes, the 65 of Anheuser-Wagner, the 8 of Osiel Escobar, the 22 of Noah Hobson, and so that leaves us with 20 cars still running, 3 of which are a lap down. The 1 of Kevin Xavier, or rather, not Xavier, the 1 is Alan Malcolm, is 1 lap down in 18th. Atlee Weiss still gaining precious points here today. He's worked his way up to 19th with all the carnage and chaos. And David Bird sitting in 20th. But you got to look in 16th, 17th, the 19th is going to be a little bit rough around the edges. The 09 especially, Jack Davis in the 09 after he just caused the big pile-up wreck here a couple laps ago. So get reset here for the restart on lap 59, as we'll have 41 laps to go. Bradley Ream, his chances at getting a 3-in-a-row race win, not as promising after getting slammed into the wall with a little bit of chaos there during that last run. Everything was a big domino effect, which led to this caution and gave him his lap back. He was able to make some repairs, get that car at least a little bit less wrinkled up. We'll see if he can hold his pace or if he's going to be a sitting duck. Cannon Gage leads the way. Dave Steele Jr. in second. It's looking like Bradley Ream might be able to maintain a little bit of pace here and stay within the lead draft. So still very much within the fight. Once he got scraped up against the wall, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a game ender for him. A lot less cars in the mix now, as so many of them have been knocked out due to carnage and chaos. Very much a staple here at Talladega. Got Gannon Bird there in the Cadillac City Chevrolet number 46 going on the attack. The 95 was leading the race before he got spun into the grass, and back up front leading here. So Scott Speed making the best of a bad situation and still finds his way up to the front and leading. So we've still got easily half the field still fighting for the win here tonight. 16 cars of the 32 car field that could still get the job done here. So 38 laps remaining here tonight and still 16 cars, so it's going to be an exciting finish here at Talladega. Bradley Ream still seeking the three-peat here tonight. If he could get a third win in consecutive fashion, Bridge to Cup action, has won the last two races. But competition's still looking pretty stout here with 15 other competitors all right there in his wheelhouse. I would not count out Kevin Xavier. Xavier looking strong in that number 10. Had Bradley Ream not got clipped into the wall, I think Bradley Ream would be the one to beat. But now, Bradley Ream showing a little bit of resistance after taking some damage. A lot of 3 wide in the mid-pack here. This could get a little bit hairy if it gets 4 wide. We've seen so many times tonight where the 4 wide turns into a wreck. Cannon Gage takes the lead here with a good push from Krista Cower and then his teammate right behind her in the 46 of Gannon Bird. Now you're going to get the Cadillac duo teaming up as Gannon Bird makes the move for second. These Cadillacs definitely looking to secure their first win regardless of who gets it done. It would be a huge day for the team. These two, the only Cadillacs here in the Bridge to Cup series. And it's been noted that Cadillac is going to come to the Cup Series in 2025. So mostly on the coattails of the success that we've seen from them here in Bridge to Cup. So this has proven to the Cadillac executives that they need to move themselves into the Cup position alongside Chevy. So you'll have Chevy and Cadillac, which is still under the same General Motors banner. Going to be interesting to see how Cadillac can do in 2025 Sylvania, well, actually Sigma Cup Series, as it'll take its full name transition by 2025 away from Sylvania into the Sigma Cup Series. Seems like Bradley Ream's struggling a little bit here on the long run. Once the tires are starting to break in, the other cars a little bit faster. You got to figure there's still some lasting effects from getting clipped into the wall. That 19 car not looking nearly as stout as it has been. 3 wide for second place. Here comes the 95 of Scott Speed. And along with that, the 29 of Rich Roy and the 35 of Dave Steele Jr. Regardless, Bradley Ream's still holding on to the lead draft here. All it's going to take is a little bit of luck and stick-to-itiveness to get to the front. The 95 car has been stout. Even when he got wrecked through the grass, he still found his way up to the front leading. And 95, that is a teammate to Atlee Weiss's 84 entry. Both of them are BMW racing for the great Guido Piano in Scuderia Monza as their team name. Bradley Reams starting to lose an edge there on the draft. With just 30 laps to go here tonight, we will see at least one more round of pit stops, whether that be green flag or on the other end of a caution. Kevin Xavier leads. Been a good week for LFG Motorsports as we saw LFG get the win at both Portland and Watkins Glen in back-to-back nights. So if that's any indication, maybe LFG Motorsports could get it done here tonight as well. We saw Noah Hobson get it done in the trucks out west in Portland. And then again last night we saw the likes of Trevor Vaden get the win at Watkins Glen in the ARCA series. So LFG Motorsports on a bit of a hot streak themselves. Forget about Bradley Reams' hot streak. Those come across 3 different series of racing if they could get it done here tonight as well. As you're watching, there's still 16 cars here in the lead draft, but things get a little bit topsy-turvy once they catch up to some of the lap traffic here. The lap traffic they will catch is going to be the 09 of Jack Davis, the 84 of Atlee Weiss, and the 1 of Alan Malcolm. As Chris DeCauer takes the lead here, Rich Roy in second. And I'm starting to think we're going to see pit stops before long if they want to shortcut, get some more. Yeah, there we go. There's a taker already, the 4 of Braden Hunt from 10th place making a pit stop. Unfortunately for him, this is a bit too early as he's going to lose a lot of the lead draft that way. We'll see though. Here we go, catching up to the lap traffic. Bradley Ream really is starting to lose his edge here as he's gotten cycled out of the lead draft. Gonna have to be careful that he doesn't lose the draft altogether. Lap traffic's helping him catch back up to the tail end here as you see the paces. But now, when do you make your pit stops with 26 laps to go? Do you want to come as soon as possible? Who's going to be your dancing partner? Who are you going to come with so that you at least have a drafting partner on pit road exit? There's a lot of these questions that these drivers have to raise and answer. And at the speeds they're going, it's hard to execute and make it all work out in the end. I would say if you're at the back of the field, you might want to pit now. Just take a big group of them and come down pit road and reset, recycle. And it seems like none of them taking that opportunity at the back of the field here to pull down pit road. And like I mentioned, Braden Hunt going to be a sitting dog here. Kind of neat seeing the team tactics come into play here, as you've got the 24 and the 29 right there alongside each other. Slowly running out of laps here, as we've only got 22 laps once they come across the start-finish line. And it seems that our 16-car dance has now whittled down to about a 12-car dance, as the likes of Dave Steele Jr., Cat Durham, Bradley Ream have lost the top draft. Maybe this is by strategy. Maybe they have laid off the gas throttle to try and make a strategy call here. I mean, why not? Maybe come down pit road for a quick gas and go, catapult to the lead, and win the race. There's many strategies that could pan out like that. If they go on fuel conserve mode right now, they could go a little bit longer before making their last pit stop. At the same time, they're sitting in the background, you know, minding their P's and Q's. If these guys wrecked at the front of the field, they could kind of maneuver through the chaos and survive any wrecks that might happen in this lead draft. So I don't see it as such a bad call to lay off and kind of safety up here, when most indications often point towards the end of these races getting to be more chaotic than the start of them. There we go, at Taker down pit road, the 29 of Rich Roy. He's going to join Braden Hunt on his pit fallback here. Bradley Ream must have pitted too. I don't see no 19 car. Unless Bradley Ream ran out of gas. No, that might have been... Nope, he's back on from making his pit stop. So I thought he might have ran out of gas there before pitting, but he's right there with Braden Hunt, which is actually not bad. At least he's got a drafting partner here with Braden Hunt. This alternate strategy here with Dave Steele could be an interesting one. Oh, we got Cannon Gage pitting for his gas. These two still gonna stay out another lap. Now, I imagine at this point, you might as well just make it a gas and go. We'll see if Cannon Gage takes any tires. They're just on pit road for gas and gas only. Still our leaders at the front here. It's crazy, we just had a fuel mileage race last night at, well, a couple nights ago at Portland. Watkins Glen was kind of affected by the fuel mileage numbers. It was just unusual, bizarre calls from some of the crew chiefs. Steve Bradley has really lost the draft here as Braden Hunt stretching it out on him. This is not what Bradley needs. Might not be a bad deal if he can get here with the lead draft and stay in front of him. This might not be too bad, as it'll keep him up to pace. We all know that he can make to the finish now, as he had his last pit stop for gas. Still kind of play spoiler, but if he's not able to beat Braden Hunt, there's nothing in it for him. It's probably just a matter of laps before Braden Hunt gets swallowed up by the leaders here as well. What seems mind-boggling here is how late these guys are staying out on the long run here. Everyone needs to come down for some gas, and it's going to be tight for some of these drivers. Looks like we got some more takers this time by. Oh, whoa, whoa, Bradley Ream had an evasive maneuver there. That was kind of hairy. Still with the lead draft, and he's going to be able to catch up to Braden Hunt here as they catch up to the tail end of that 4 car. Dave Steele finally made his pit stop, it seems. Yep. And so on that fuel strategy, it looks like Dave Steele would be at the front, at least at the front of Braden. Rich Roy even further ahead. But Rich Roy basically all alone out there in front of the rest of the field. Not much drafting help. Dave Steele catching a little bit of a tow from the 4 of Braden Hunt. Bradley Ream right there. He's got to get into that tow as well and start drafting to the front, or else he's going to lose massive time here. As the rest of your leaders looks like they've finally pitted. So things should sort around here. As you see, they rejoin the track here. It's going to be close, but it might not be much of a factor for likes of Dave Steele Jr. and Bradley Ream to stay in the fight here. Looks like they're going to come back on the backstretch with quite a gap on Dave Steele. Short of a caution, I don't see those guys getting caught back up to the lead draft at least. It is going to take a couple laps for this lead draft to actually get organized again, as you have basically kind of a tandem draft for 2x2 Noah's Ark style. Here goes John Hagan to the lead over Gannon Bird. Lead draft very much spread out after the full course of green flag pit stops here. Hagan gets credited with the lead as they've caught back up to Atlee Weiss to put him another lap down here. That second group starting to really get materialized there. So you've got Scott Speed, Jamie Horseman, which we haven't seen a whole lot of him here tonight, Kyler Sestre, Krista Cower, and even Nadaka Gum, all within the top 5 here. Then these three are for position: Kevin Xavier, Kosnoff, and Luis Rodriguez. Can engage kind of a lone Rich Roy, Dave Steele Jr., Cat Durham, Bradley Ream in 15th. So Ream about to go what would be a lap down if they catch back up to him here, with just 11 laps remaining. John Hagan won the season opener this year, which was at the Daytona Rallycross track. So not a super speedway race like it is tonight, but still seems to have a knack for, well, Daytona and Talladega maybe. The only thing that's against him, working against him right now, is he does not have much of a draft. And that 46 closing the gap here can engage, or rather Gannon Bird in the 46, Scott Speed in the 95, Krista Cower in the 98. John Hagan going to get overrun here for the lead. Yeah, it's looking like we might have about a 5, maybe 6 car fight for the win here tonight in the closing lap. Scott Speed feels like he's been wronged after getting spun from the lead earlier in the race. Gannon Bird definitely feels like he deserves a win this season after getting robbed at Charlotte just a couple weeks ago. Then you got Krista Cower, who has not yet won in 2024. We've seen her in victory lane before with the Truck Series. We'll see what she's got in the tank. One of our more recent winners, Kyler Sestre in the 24, hoping to get back in his winning ways. And then those two Audis still within striking distance. Nadaka Gum and Jamie Horseman. Hagan goes for the attack here on the lead, as well as Gannon Bird. Just 8 laps remaining. The feel-good story here would have to be Gannon Bird if he's able to get redemption from Charlotte just a couple weeks ago. Cadillac has been running strong. They're both in the top 4 in points and honestly are the most deserving to have a win so far this season. This could be huge for Cadillac stock as they are planning on going to Cup racing in 2025. And who knows from there on what it'll look like, but for sure Cadillac needs to get their feet in the water before diving into the deep end. Scott Speed leads Christacauer and Nadakagum right now with just 6 laps remaining here at Talladega for the Milton Shangle 266. Lap traffic gonna be a factor here. The 09 of Jack Davis almost took this race away from Scott Speed earlier when they got into contact right here at the same spot in the track. The 09 almost carbon copy of the last caution that we had where he cut off the 95. 95 able, a little bit of PTSD there I imagine, able to make the pass and get by the 09. Oh, the 09's going to really mess things up here. He's going to hold up the line behind him. 46. Gannon Bird gets a little bit of a chop there. But what this does, this allows this group behind the leaders to get a little bit of a draft brewing here, as Scott Speed might be a sitting duck with 5 laps to go. Kyler Sestre in second. 4 miles an hour faster is coming Gannon Bird. Don't want to make the move too soon and make an early pass for the lead. But Gannon really sitting decently here in third. Some more lap traffic likely to be a factor here. Bradley Ream, whose day just has not been the same after he got into the wall. Be 3 laps to go this time by, as you see Scott Speed holding the lead. Gannon Bird going low. He's going to try to take the lead away. Gannon Bird to the lead with a good push there from John Hagan. Just 3 laps remaining. And 5 cars all within range to get the job done here. John Hagan goes low. Gannon Bird goes high. Lap traffic stays low. Gannon Bird's going to be able to get around Bradley Ream here. And now this sets up a precarious position for Gannon Bird, as he is going to be the sitting duck out front leading. On lap 98 of 100 here, he's going to get hit with a very, very slow pace without any drafting help behind him. Sestre and Hagan with a good push here. Hagan's going to make quick work of the 46. Man, that's a bummer. Gannon Bird's going to have to drop back here and recuperate, figuring out another method of attack. Could still be one more car to play spoiler here. The 6 of Cat Durham. Noticeably slow, but it's not for certain. Just possibility there. 99 of 100. John Hagan leads the way. Now with Jamie Horseman in second, Scott Speed in third, Gannon Bird back to fourth. Not the best of moves there by Gannon Bird, but looks like he's going to make it work as he's going to use the draft of that 90 to catch back up to the back bumper of the 95. So now, white flag in air. This will be the final lap of the race. Gannon Bird needs to get to work here. He's got a move made on the 95. Gonna see, I think, a little bit more inspiration out of this 46 team to try and push the envelope here. He's gonna go low on Hagan, making it side by side on the backstretch. Nearly. They're not side by side by turn 3. It could be a crazy finish here. Hagan staying on the outside. Sustre coming through the pack as well. Sustre might peek his nose in there. Doesn't look like it. Here comes Gannon Bird around the front half of the track. Gannon Bird is going to get redemption here tonight in Talladega. Getting the win for Cadillac. The first win for Cadillac. And really earning it here tonight. Getting around some tough competitors. So this will definitely be a happy victory for much of the series. Gannon Bird has been trying his hardest to get his first ever career win in Sigma competition. And he gets the job done here tonight at a wild card track like Talladega. He's been at it for about a full year now, and in trucks has not seen the success. Was able to put together a team alongside Cannon Gage in this Bridge to Cup championship this year as the lone Cadillac team, and the Cadillac team that could. They finally get their first win, and it's going to be interesting to see what they can do going on from here. Cannon Gage was in the mix at some points here tonight as well. But ultimately, it was teammate Gannon Bird getting the job done. 20 cars finished the race here tonight, 14 of which were on the lead lap. Bradley Ream sadly comes up short in his three-peat venture. Coming home 15th, unfortunately. It's going to be a rough day points-wise for him, as I imagine Gannon Bird's probably going to catapult up to nearly second in the points with a win here tonight. Dave Steele, he's still sitting comfortably with that points lead. There's not much chance of him losing the lead for a while. And so that's a wrap here tonight. A little bit more of a return to normalcy, so we didn't have a glitch-ridden race. Talladega, just good hard racing here tonight at the track, and back to the original 32 entries that we've had since day one. A couple of our one-off drivers got a few starts here in Bridge to Cup, and that was just part of that May Madness, getting some more seat time for up-and-coming ARCA racers. But huge congrats. Probably one of the prettiest cars out there in this Bridge to Cup roster, with Gannon Bird getting the job done with that Days of Thunder tribute car.
You have that same ignition problem?
And thank you for everyone tuning in. It was a pretty standard super speedway race, but actually we got to see some dominance from a few drivers. It wasn't truly the conveyor belt race that we've seen so much of in this Sigma series. We did get to see a few drivers hold the lead for multiple laps, which is actually, I think, a better product through and through that we got to see. Hard racing, but also some dominant racing and close and tight, good racing. So hopefully everyone has a good night out there. Stay safe. We'll have a cup race tomorrow night, right about the same time earlier, a little bit earlier than tonight was, of course. And it's going to be interesting seeing the return of the Courting brothers. We'll see Tim Courting in the Cup Series race tomorrow at Portland, and Tim and Tom return back to the Truck Series between the East and the West. So the Walker Bros might have a little bit of competition on their hands now as the Courting Bros look to start taking some wins away from them. So thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one. This is Jakester signing out.